Alrighty, happy Tuesday! It's time for another Tuesday Night Lights, the 6th edition of this show match series in 2025, and it's time for another SEL versus Great Lakes Rivalry Night. This is the first time in a while that we've had a clean, just 3 show matches between SEL and Great Lakes teams, so straight up, a best of 3 to see which region is better. And we've got some solid matches tonight. I'm confident that these 3 can go the distance. So, no State of the SEL, no regular 7 Eastern time show match either. The action kicks off at 8 Eastern, 7 Central for Tuesday Night Lights tonight. I better see you there. The first matchup is one we've kind of seen before. Bruton Parker and Michigan State, as schools have played each other before. I mean, they're at the top of the CRL scene, so why wouldn't they? But this time, it's the Bruton Parker Academy team getting a shot at a Spartans roster that has been making waves in the CRL scene this semester. And Bruton Parker Academy have been notching some good results as well. They just downed Florida on the SEL mainstream this past week after we were thinking that might be the determining series to figure out who comes in second in that group behind Cumberland. And BBC Academy took it in 4, so should be an interesting watch as their stout defense tries to hold up against Opbomb and Morvu and the knock combo that is so difficult to stop. And I am curious to see how this goes because Bruton Parker Academy, I've seen a ton of Milk, I've seen some of Kyler, and now a little bit of Corrupt, but they're making a debut on my stream tonight against the Michigan State, and I'll move out of the way. That's 4-3 all time. They're no strangers to Tuesday Night Lights, so an interesting one to kick things off. Next up in the primetime spot, James Madison continues to take on solid Great Lakes rosters to try and prove themselves outside of the Southeast. And today they're playing Rochester Christian, who is a team that I've seen reach the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows as a roster. So I'm never quite sure what I'm going to get out of RCU, but James Madison definitely on the up and up, did struggle in their last Tuesday Night Lights appearance against Shawnee State, and there were outside factors influencing Gad Pigeon and ability that night, but they're back on full strength, even TNL record all time, taking on a Rochester Christian. And again, I'll get out of the way, the record, we'll figure out which way to go. 2-2, also 500 all time is RCU, so I'm excited to watch this one because RCU can hit a pretty high ceiling, but I've yet to really see them achieve that this season. So better late than never. Show matches hopefully are the best time to achieve that full potential without a ton of pressure. Just some eyes in the primetime spot to see if the SEL or the Great Lakes is better under the lights. And I did want to mention as well, and come back to talk about RCU, that Magic actually announced his retirement from competitive Rocket League today on Twitter. So kind of a big development there, and I wonder if that means he's going to try and have some more fun with competing for RCU, if he wasn't already. I don't know what it's like in the Rochester Christian camp, but I do wish Magic all the best with his future endeavors with Rocket League and competitive Apex he mentioned. So shout out Magic there. Can't wait to see him tonight. Then in the final spot of the evening, it's a little lower on the skill level side compared to the James Madisons and Michigan States and Bruton Parkers and RCUs of Tuesday Night Lights. But Robert Morris and George Mason Academy are 2 teams that in their respective regional conferences can take heads. I mean, Robert Morris in the fall major event for Great Lakes made a top 4 run and finished alongside teams like Davenport, Columbia, and Akron Gold. It was those 4 that were the top 4 in that event, and while they did lose Illuminous, that hit them pretty hard this spring semester, Robert Morris, led by Demented Sheep, who's got some seasons of experience underneath him now, I think are still looking good despite the odds kind of stacked against them losing their mechanical carry. So we'll see how Senti and GJM are doing tonight alongside Sheep as they take on a George Mason Academy roster that right now kind of looks better than the A-team. I mean, Tihan sent me a scrim that Academy and the A-team had against each other, and I was looking at the ball chasing files. First 2 games were won by the A-team, and then the rest after that, a full hour scrim, I think, was won by Academy. So these guys are going to be an interesting watch. I haven't actually gotten to see them this season in action, but it's Jason, I think it's just Jason, and then Kevin and Parzi. Kevin's actually an Xbox player as well, so you don't see that too often. A console player at this high a skill level making these kind of waves. In Tier 1 of the SEL, having a good run through tier assignment there, and they've been getting close to beating teams that they shouldn't be beating, you know? They're really making waves, and a win against Robert Morris tonight I think would kind of solidify that sentiment. This Academy roster might be legit. And of course, I want to put my predictions up on the screen as we do wrap up the preview video. I was close to pretty spot on last week with the 3 real show matches that we had that I predicted. I nailed the Kennesaw State 4-1 win over UT Dallas. I got Florida State and Auburn going to Game 7 correct, just didn't get the winner right. And then I gave ECU a game against UNCC, and it was a sweep for the Niners, but all 3 games were 1-goal games, so I think it's fair to say that my prediction was close enough for that C3 Esports League matchup. But this week, I've got Michigan State starting off the night with a 4-2 win over Bruton Parker Academy. Michigan State is top-notch right now. In the colleague poll, I think they were close, if not right on top 20. And Bruton Parker Academy, they're a good roster. I think they can win games against Michigan State, but that MSU offense going to break through more times than not, or enough times, I think, to win that series in 6. And then James Madison versus Rochester Christian. I think JMU get the edge here. I don't think RCU is quite the same quality as Shawnee State, and James Madison looked darn good against the Bears of Shawnee State a couple of weeks back. So I think they win it 4-1, even up the night for the SEL. No bias there. And then to wrap up the night, I think in 7 games, Robert Morris gets the W over George Mason Academy. I think that one really has the potential to go the distance, but I am the least confident in that set because of the unknowns on both sides, kind of the ups and downs of George Mason Academy and Robert Morris. I don't know where they're going to align tonight in terms of a quality matchup against each other, so we'll see how far it does end up going, but I do have the Great Lakes winning the night 2-1, thanks to a Game 7 victory from Robert Morris. But we'll see what happens. Action kicks off at 8 Eastern, 7 Central tonight, twitch.tv/Mr. Bepic. And as always, make sure you go follow the SEL at Esports SEL and the Great Lakes at Great Lakes CRL on Twitter, on Twitch, wherever you can catch them to help support the regional leagues in Collegiate Rocket League. I'll see you tonight.